my friends, and happy Thursday evening. So today we have a project that is going to bring a little summer into our lives. Now that it's cold and pretty yucky here in the Midwest, we need something so that we can just carry that little bit of warm weather with us. And that is what inspired today's project. Also, what inspired today's project is I wanted to do a video on some nice basics and just stringing, because so many people ask me about stringing and what I string on and how I finished my strung necklaces and bracelets. And of course, I make strung necklaces and bracelets all the time. And it's not always the same stringing supplies that I use. Sometimes it's griffin cord, sometimes it is Ceylon, sometimes it is soft flax wire, and they're not interchangeable. So I will make it a point to do a few nice basics videos on stringing using each of those materials. And actually, I have been using a lot of Ceylon lately, but today's project is griffin cord is what we're using. And in fact, speaking of Ceylon, I do want to show you the redesign from last week. I really wanted to show this to you. You probably remember this is, well, if you watched last week's video, of course. So this is the redesign. Here, let me just move this a little bit. This is the redesign of the Blue River Stones necklace. And the reason for the redesign is the original design sold out so quickly. Literally, it sold out within an hour. Once it was listed between the store and the Etsy shop, it literally sold out in an hour. It possibly is the record of how quickly something sold. And so, as promised, I did redesign it for this week.
Suni says, hi, evening.
Hello, good evening, my friend, Suni.
Angela B says, good evening.
Hi, Angela.
And Patty T says, hello, everyone.
Hello, Patty.
Lynn C says, hi there, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
Hello, Lynn.
And Heidi says, beautiful. Good evening, friends.
Thank you so much, Heidi, and good evening.
Linda M says, hello.
Hi, Linda.
And Pammy J says, good evening, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all.
And hello, Pammy Jane.
Laura M says, hi, everyone.
Hi, Laura.
Julie says, oh, excellent. Would love to learn the uses of all those chords.
Yes, thank you so much. You know, people ask me about stringing more so than just about anything else. So I would like to do maybe at least three videos just on some good stringing basics. And there is going to be definitely some redundancy. It's not difficult techniques, and as far as finishing, there is definitely going to be some redundancy, but it's still good to go over.
Fonda says, good evening, everyone.
Hello, Fonda.
And Heidi says, I love this so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Heidi. I'm so glad.
Karen says, good evening, everyone. It is cooling off here in Maryland.
Hi, Karen. Oh, I know, Maryland must be really beautiful. Well, maybe a couple of months ago it was really beautiful, but I'm imagining it a little bit like here, like Wisconsin, very snowy.
Speaking of Wisconsin, our friend Nora loved the pendants with the wood.
Oh, thank you so much, my friend. Yes, thank you. So a little bit about the wood. It is actually walnut wood. It is beautifully finished, and it is combined with resin. And I just think it's absolutely stunning. It's really lightweight. It's really stunning. And I do want to show you a few of the resin pieces. they are one of a kind. So it's not like they're printed. I don't really know how they're made, but in my mind, Nora, you know how this works with alcohol inks. You swirl everything and you just get what you get, and it's lovely. So in my mind, it is kind of like this, where they swirl the colors and then they cut these beautiful shapes out of the resin that is spliced with wood. And the teal color, this is like a clear day sort of color, just a clear, beautiful day at the ocean. And these are going to be very similar. Now, because of the natural wood, the organic nature of it is such that you will get some variations in the wood only. However, in the what I think of as the sunset pieces, you will get a lot of variation, and most of it is not like here is a sun or moon and the rest is a swirl of colors. Sometimes you get a couple of moons. Sometimes you get a white moon and a black moon. Sometimes you get a couple of white moons. So you just never know. But sometimes it looks like a landscape or a seascape, I should say. And sometimes it kind of feels like almost like an otherworldly scape. So just be ready for some variation, and they're all beautiful. I handpicked them all. They're all beautifully finished.
Yolanda says good evening.
Good evening, Yolanda.
Oh, she also says nice necklaces.
Oh, thank you so much.
Teresa says joining in.
Hello, Teresa. Thanks for joining.
Katie says good evening. Happy New Year all.
Hi, Katie, and Happy New Year. I heard, is this the...
Yeah.
I heard you just ordered the newly redesigned River Stones necklace rather. I do want to actually, because this was such a super popular project, I do want to talk about how it was redesigned. And unfortunately, I can't show you the original and the new one side by side because we sold the original. We sold all of the kits and then the original sample. But this is very similar. So the reason for the redesign is this. We ordered more of the nuggets, the Botswana agate nuggets, and they're beautiful. But they're a little bit smaller than the original sample. So I don't know if you remember what the original sample looked like, but this is just a little bit smaller. So in order to make everything flow, I introduced another bead, and that other bead is this kind of a twisted, swirly lapis bead, which I think really fits into the necklace. So the lapis bead is closer to the size and shape of the nuggets, and then we still have some of the blue agate beads, but not quite as many, because if you look at, so this is the back of my necklace. So the little Botswana agate nuggets, they get smaller and smaller. So you have to, if you can embrace the difference in size, I think it turned out really well. In fact, you know, when I showed it to the ladies in the store, they seem to be pretty happy with the end result. And I'm very happy with the end result as well.
Suni says, Irina, Tony, are you guys coming to Tucson?
Well, Suni, that's a great question. We are actually still deciding, isn't that insane, on any normal year. And, you know, we used to go to Tucson every year for, I think, 25 years. It was either 24 or 25 years without ever missing one. Many years ago, we had multiple booths in Tucson, and brought a crew, and it was quite an undertaking. At one point, we had 3 different locations, and then after a few years of doing that, quite a few years actually, we decided that we like going to Tucson more to buy, make contacts with new vendors, find new product, and so that's our focus at this point. So we would very much like to go to Tucson. We're still debating if we're going. Last year was the first year we ever missed it, and we do miss it. We really do. We enjoy going to Tucson, not only because of the shows, but because of the warm weather as well. So we're hoping to make that decision within the next few days. Yes, and normally we would have made this decision, about a year before the show, and we would have had the hotel and the plane tickets, at least 8-9 months, before the dates of the show. But it's not a normal year.
Heidi says, I'm so glad I got the redesign before the show started. Gorgeous.
Oh, yay! Thank you so much.
Lindsay says, that is a very gorgeous necklace, Irina.
Thank you so much. I think you're probably talking about the river stones, the blue river stones. And thank you. I'm so glad you guys like this one. I am so happy with how it turned out. Oh, and good news. Last week, somebody asked me about these components and whether we have it in an amethyst color. And yes, we do. So by next week, I'm actually hoping to design something like this with amethyst. So if you have requests, in fact, this is a good time to talk about requests. I love it when you guys talk about color. So, what would you like to see amethyst with? Do you like amethyst with, let's say, like moss agate colors, so greens, or are we talking about amethyst in pinks? Because I can pretty much go in either direction, or we could do fairly monochromatic, but a lot of shades of amethyst. So we could go in many, many different directions with this.
Mary Elizabeth says, hello, Irina. Hope you had a great vacation.
Oh, thank you so much, Mary Elizabeth. Yes, we did. We had such a good time. We probably would have had a better time if we would have gone to Mexico, but last minute we changed our minds and we went to Florida. And we are happy with that decision because getting home was much more predictable than it would have been getting home from Mexico.
Lucy says, hi, everyone. The turquoise necklace is beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Lucy.
And Lindsay says, I must say the Riverstone necklace just looks like Irina.
Oh, yes, it does. It really does look like me. You're absolutely right. But, the Beachcomber necklace, oddly, also looks like me. This is the more sort of carefree side of me. This is the side that just absolutely loves summer and loves the beach. And this is the kind of necklace that you can give somebody who just, I don't know, wants to go and backpack Europe, or maybe just wants to hang out in Mexico for a month. This is like an everybody necklace.
Jeannie says, I hope you do make Tucson.
Oh, thank you so much, Jeannie. I'm hoping, there's one side of me that's really hoping and wants to go, and then there's, what is going on with this pandemic, right? So we're still deciding. As soon as we know, we'll let you guys know.
Heidi says, oh, yay. Thank you, Irina.
My pleasure, Heidi.
Kathy G says amethyst and citrine.
Oh, citrine. Yeah, that's for the beautiful ametrine look. Unfortunately, I think that's a wonderful thought. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of citrine right now. It's pretty hard to get these days. But maybe we could create the look with something else that is similar in color. Any other thoughts regarding what you like to see amethyst with?
Nora says purple and green.
I'm a fan of purple and green, Nora.
Fonda says purple and... Oh, I see. Spell check. Purple and citrine or pinks.
Yeah, I think either one is good. And then there's purple and a whole bunch of maybe, and I don't know, I like really colorful stuff. Can you guys tell? I really like color.
Tina says hi, everyone.
Hi, Tina.
And so does Bobby. Bobby says hi all.
And hello, Bobby. Thanks for joining us. So, yeah, so I like color. I could also see purple with a whole bunch of other colors and gemstones. But in the meantime, I'm also showing you the edge of boho bracelets, which we did restock from last week. We were sold out of this color, which I forgot what we called it.
Rainforest.
Rainforest, thank you. That was actually Tony's idea, and I loved it. Doesn't this just look like rainforest?
Mary Elizabeth says amethyst and the stone that provides the most contrast, a little changeling.
Okay, so the stone that provides the most contrast, I would say that would be something like a prehnite or maybe a shade of jade. Let me ponder that. I would say contrasting to amethyst would be something green and really pretty.
Katie says, I'm looking for more of those small half-dome white wide hole pearls that you used in the leather acorn necklace. If you find those again, I would be interested in either white and or blue-green shade.
I'm trying to remember, what did I use in the acorn necklace? If you have a picture, please do send it to me. I would love to try to find it. So today, ladies, we are making the Beachcomber necklace, and it's a quick one. It is a good basics, review the basics one, or learn the basics, whatever applies to you. And we're going to be using griffin cord, but we're also using something a little bit different than what I showed in these pendants. So I love the look, and I really love the idea of this seascape and the horizon line, but I also wanted to give you something that's just a little bit different. And one of my other absolute favorites are fossils. So here is an ammonite, and so this is going to be a variation, which in all other ways it's going to be constructed the very same way as the two necklaces that we're looking at.
Jeannie says, love all the bracelets, and Katie says, will do.
Oh, thank you so much. So, and I do have more bracelets to show you, but I will wait for that. So we'll do a little preview for next week. I have a fun bracelet coming up as well. And the ammonite, so the ammonite pendant, and yes, it is a pendant. So it has a hole, it's drilled. I know sometimes when we buy these ammonite pieces, they're not drilled, they're cabochons. And these are pre-drilled. They're very nicely drilled. And the reason I'm saying they're really nicely drilled is because sometimes when we find these types of pieces, they're drilled a little bit too far in. And then you end up with some kind of a giant jump ring. But this is actually drilled so beautifully. And these come from my old stomping grounds. They're from Morocco. And I do have a few other samples of the ammonites, just to show you how different they all look.
Heidi says, wow, that ammonite is gorgeous.
Oh, thank you, Heidi.
Lindsay says, love the ammonite.
Yay, thank you.
Kim C says, hi, Irina, Tony, Lauren, and all. Just joining in, and wow, love that ammonite.
Hi, Kim. Thank you so much. You know, Ammonites, they have been my all-time favorite things to design with. I have set them in silver. I have wire wrapped ammonites. I have used them in so many different ways. And today we're going to make a you know what? Actually, I have even painted an ammonite. Yes, I'm still painting the mural at the store. It's a big mural, you guys. It's 16 feet, so it's taking me way longer than I was hoping. But I'm trying to be patient because in my world, I like it when things, happen in 5 minutes. And Tony is nodding. But anyway, I am a little bit obsessed with ammonites and I love these. So just showing you how each one of them has their own character and they're super fun. So we are going to use one of these beauties to make today's necklace. And eventually, when we're done, we will list this one in the Etsy shop as well. So first, I am going to open and close some jump rings. So if you're a little bit new to jump rings, this is a good way to jump into it with the jump rings. Haha. Yes, that deserved an eye roll. If you did a little eye roll, I understand. Okay, so I have a nice slightly larger jump ring, not very large. This is about 6, maybe 6.5 millimeters in diameter. And I am going to put it through the hole in the ammonite. And I'm going to close the jump ring. And if you heard that little click when I closed the jump ring, that's a good thing. It's something we want to hear. And I have 2 more smaller jump rings because, so initially I was just going to throw 1 jump ring on every one of these pendants, both the wood and resin pendants and the ammonite pendants, but, well, actually I started with the wooden resin. But it didn't really make me happy. It did not look great. So I wanted to separate the necklace from the pendant just a little bit. So it's like we're creating just a teeny little chain. So it was either 1 jump ring or 3 jump rings. So we're going with 3 jump rings.
Lindsay says, what size is the smaller ammonite, please?
The smaller ammonite, they're all about the same. Well, actually, yes. So they're not exactly the same. They are hand cut, and they're roughly 1.25-ish inches. So I mean, like this one looks like it could be just under 1.25 inches. So when we list this necklace, we will try to be really, well, I was going to say really exact, but we're not going to be really exact because there's going to be a range. So I'm going to guess that it's probably going to range from 1 1/8 to maybe 1.25 inches or so.
Or 1.5, something like that.
1.5 is getting kind of larger. So I think this is a good size. I think getting any larger probably would not work as well with the other beads that I'm using. Okay, so I'm going to open and close, or rather open, connect, and close 2 more jump rings, and these are slightly smaller. And it's one of those things, how they say the devil is in the details. It's one of those things. So I went with smaller jump rings for the 2 that connect to that initial jump ring that goes through the ammonite pendant, because I felt that it's just a better look, and also B, because and probably more importantly, because we're using 4mm round beads, you don't want to use round beads, or rather you don't want to use a large enough jump ring where your beads are going to slide through it. So you kind of want to consider the size of your beads and what you want it to do.
Lindsay says so approximately 30 millimeters. That's correct.
Yes, that is correct. And you know, normally I measure things in millimeters, but this one we just happen to have a ruler right here next to me, so that was pretty convenient. So, so first thing I'm going to do, now that I have my little pendant, and I think I'm just going to make a little more room and move these. So the very first thing we're going to do is, as we start stringing, is go through the wire guardian. And of course, in this case, it's not the wire guard, oops, and it fell. So it's not the wire guardian here. Which finger do I put it on? So it's not the wire guardian in this case, but the griffin cord guardian. And you know, I use these wire guardians with griffin cord. I occasionally use them with Ceylon. It's a little bit more challenging, but it can be done. And of course, they are designed for the use with soft flex wire and other flexible wires. So we're going to go through the wire guardian. Oh, and sorry, I took my griffin cord off the card, so it comes off this little card, and there is a needle attached. For those of you who are not familiar with griffin cord, it comes with this wire needle. It's twisted wire that is attached to our string, which makes it so very convenient. And this is a size 4 griffin cord. It comes in different sizes. This is size 4, which I think is a perfect size for this type of project.
Lindsay says thanks so much.
My pleasure, Lynn. Thank you.
Catherine says, hello, beautiful lady. Sorry I'm late.
Hello, Catherine. I'm so glad you are joining me today. All right, ladies. So, and thank you, Catherine, for the beautiful. That makes my day. So I just went through both sides of my wire guardian. So just making a little loop with my griffin cord.
Connie says, running late. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Connie. And I'm so glad you joined me. And you're not all that late since we've been chatting, and we're just starting out. So I always like to move the two sides of the wire guardian a little bit closer. And now I'm going to tie a knot. And this is just going to be our regular overhand knot. And here we go.
Brenda says hello.
Hello, Brenda. I'm glad you're joining us. Okay, so here's a nice single overhand knot. And, oh, did I bring, yes, I did bring my glue. Yay. Okay, so the glue that I'm going to use is super new glue, which, as we know, is very, very runny. It's like water when it comes out sometimes. So we want to have a little piece of paper just in case. And I may also use the piece of paper to guide the glue. So I'm gluing the knot, yes, but I'm not actually putting the glue on the knot, as you can see. I put it on the side of the thread that's going to be cut off and just kind of let it run down to the knot. And the reason I do this is because it gives me just a little bit more control, because I don't like to overglue the knot. When you overglue the knot, what happens is not only does your knot get brittle, but then you have glue running down the working side of the string, and it's going to make it very brittle, and eventually it will break. So we want to avoid that by putting the glue on the side of the string, which will eventually get cut off.
Bobby says, oh, cool, never thought of that. That's in regards to your griffin cord guardian.
Oh, yay. Well, I'm glad. You know, I find the wire guardians so useful when you use them with griffin cord. So I'm letting the glue dry a little bit, but in the meantime, I'm going to show you a knot cover. And yes, you probably know this as a crimp cover. And a crimp cover, a knot cover, tomato, it's actually the same thing. But since we're using it as a knot cover, I'm going to call it that. And this is a smaller knot cover. It's, I think it's 3 millimeters as opposed to 4. Generally, they come either in 3 or 4 millimeters. And my thread is dry enough where I can just snip it off. So we'll do that right next to the knot. So because I glued it, it's not going to fray. And now is a good time to cover it. So I'm just going to grab my knot cover with my chain nose pliers and put it right over the knot. It's going to be a pretty snug fit because, as I mentioned, it's a 3 millimeter one, and just go ahead and squeeze it. And you know, I do find that whenever you can get away with using a smaller crimp cover or knot cover, it's a bit easier to close it and make it look very neat, and it just looks like a nice little round bead, and you can barely see that seam.
Lindsay says, I tend to use GS Hypo for these knots as it leaves the knots more flexible and holds very well. Wonder about your opinion.
You know, I have used GS Hypo Cement, absolutely. I think it's a good glue. The only reason I like using this super new glue is because, well, actually, probably there are a couple of reasons I like it. A, it's completely non-gap filling. It's just when you want something that's non-gap filling, use super new glue. The other thing too is I use it so much for not only for using for gluing knots, but also for making self needles. And so it's pretty much just usually by my side. And I probably don't use GS Hypo Cement quite as much, but it is also a really good glue for this purpose. Okay, ladies, so I'm going to start stringing, and this part is going to be really quick because I'm just going to string right by transferring from the original string. So these are check beads. They come in a hank. I'm sure you've seen them at some point. They come in like a whole little bundle of beads, and they're pre-strung. They don't come in a tube. So we're going to just transfer them from the original temporary string right onto our twisted needle, and it's going to go super, super fast. And every once in a while, I will just push all the beads down from the needle. And that's really all you have to do, and continue stringing. So every once in a while, you know, I haven't actually measured how many beads I need. Let's measure this. So this looks like, well, yeah, this looks like just about 6 inches of beads that we want. But you can certainly string more. You have a very, very long string with your griffin cord, and you can definitely transfer more than 6 inches worth of beads. One thing I forgot to say is when you take your string off the griffin cord, it's a little bit, you can see it's kind of a little bit zigzaggy, but you know, just kind of stretching it between your fingers. It's not really stretching it, it's just straightening it. And also just through the weight of the beads on the cord, it will straighten. So you can see how quickly that's going. So I'm just going to continue until I have 6 inches. And you will definitely have extra. So if you want to make it longer, you can. So let me know if you have ever used this way of transferring beads. And of course, you know, if you have a favorite Japanese bead, and Japanese beads come in a tube, you can always just pick them up one at a time. It's not that you have to do it just like this. I think I'm nearly there. Let's see. Maybe just a few more. I just want to be a little bit consistent with my other samples. So this should do it. And we have 2 other types of beads that we are putting on this necklace. So with our sunset necklace, we have the red beads, which are dyed jade, and then we have those beautiful Tibetan agate beads, and then the turquoise color bead. Again, we're using the Tibetan beads and dyed dream jasper. So one thing I want to point out is that I'm using the same Tibetan agate beads for all 3 because they just have this really beautiful organic feel, and they complement both the wood in these 2 pendants and also the ammonite pendant really nicely.
Catherine says, I didn't know that you could just glue it on the thread. I thought you had to put it on the knot.
Well, I put it on the thread, the part of the thread that's going to be cut off so that it becomes a little stiff. It doesn't matter. And I just let it run down to the knot. This way, I'm controlling the amount of glue that I actually get on the knot so that I don't overglue my knot, if that makes sense. Let me know if it makes sense, you guys. Because sometimes, you know, I'm just talking and I'm hoping that it does make sense, but I don't know.
So Nora has a wonderful autocorrect because I didn't understand her first comment. It says sexists call that loving your thread/cord.
Oh.
She meant to say sewists.
Oh! Wow, Nora, I thought you were making some kind of like a politically incorrect comment. So I'm sorry, what do sewists call it?
Loving your thread/cord.
Yes, we love our thread. Absolutely.
Fonda says, makes sense to me.
Oh, thank you. Sometimes, you know, when you're in a real class, you know, and you can see everybody, and even though you guys are not saying anything, maybe you're nodding or whatever, but you can see people's reactions, and you can see, you know, just by the way that people look at you that it made sense or it didn't make sense. But since I can't see you guys, I do need some kind of validation occasionally. And Tony is here and he just makes faces at me, and so, you know, I don't really get the same type of validation. I mean, you know, he does make me laugh, but it's just not the same.
Catherine says, that is so cool. Thank you. I'm going to try that, beautiful lady.
Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. And I'm glad you like the idea. Let me know how it works for you. So I'm just stringing. Okay, so there's one bead I'm not crazy about, but I'm just stringing these beads at random. So when I was picking out the beads for this version of the necklace, at first I was just going to go a little bit more monochromatic and go with the colors in the ammonite, but then everything was just brown, and there was more brown and more brown yet. Actually, I think I have a little bit too many. I think I'll take one off. just for the sake of consistency. And so everything was just brown. And I was not happy with everything being brown. So I thought, we need to throw a little bit of color into this. And I think I'm liking how this is going to turn out. So let's see if you guys like it also. So it looks like I have 6 of the Tibetan agate beads on each side. And again, I'm just stringing them pretty randomly. Some are quite a bit darker than the others, some are very light. And I do think that with a project like this, that's exactly what makes it really natural looking, very organic looking. So what do you guys think? What do you think about the colorful agate beads? And these are just assorted agates. There's a little tree agate in here, there's a little moss agate, there's red agate, or rather red jasper. So it's just different assorted beads. They came on the same strand, and I liked how it looked.
Kim K says, I'm being quiet tonight, but I always learn something new from your lives. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Kim. And you don't have to be quiet. I love it when you guys are not quiet, because I learn so many things from you guys as well. And I love your suggestions and your comments. So please do, if you feel that you have a suggestion, maybe on something that would work for a certain technique, or maybe something that you would like to see in a future video. So please do, be loud, don't be quiet.
Nora says the color adds a lot to the design.
Oh, thank you so much, Nora. Oh, my little beads are rolling around. I need to gather them a little. Okay, so I'm getting really kind of excited about all the different colors. And do we like the white? I'm not sure. So, I love working with natural stone. There's so many aspects to it. There is the translucency in some of the stone, and other stone is really very solid and colorful. It's just so kind of amazing what nature makes, and all of this is just natural. It's just so unbelievable what an awesome artist nature is. Okay, so it looks like I have 2 more to go. And then we go back to stringing our seed beads.
Catherine says, me too, and they are so beautiful.
Oh, thank you so much, Catherine. Yeah, I love how this is turning out. You never quite know exactly what it's going to look like, but I had a feeling that we would all like this. Okay, so we're going to put away our little stone beads, and I'm going to go back to stringing the seed beads.
Lori says, good evening.
Hi, Lori. Good evening. So glad you're joining us today. Now, is this the Lori from the Chicago area? So I'm back to stringing. I want to tell you a little bit about these seed beads. So whenever you see seed beads on a hank or pre-strung like this, they're Czech. They come from the Czech Republic, and they're generally not quite as uniform as the Japanese beads. And the Japanese beads, of course, have become so popular in the last couple of decades. And the Czech beads are getting a little bit harder to find. But for these types of stringing projects, I love working with Czech beads because they have a little bit more variation. And my feeling is that they mix really well with natural stone. So that was the reason of my choice for this necklace. They're really organic in shape, or a little bit more organic than your Japanese seed beads, the Miyukis, and what's the other one?
Toho.
The Toho beads, yes.
Lori says yes.
Yay!
Kim C says beautiful. Love it with the agate variety and offset it with a swirl in this ammonite.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm glad you're liking this. You know, ammonites are so cool. They are, I believe they're ancestors of our modern squid, or is it just the mollusks? It's one of the two. Maybe I'm thinking about trilobites. No, trilobites are not predecessors of squid. But anyway, fossils are cool, and that is all I can say. Okay, so I probably need another inch or so. And then we are going to attach our wire guardian again, or in this case, it is broken cord guardian. So
Lindsay says the nautilus shell, and Katie says nautilus.
yes, thank you so much. Yes, they're so cool. And it's just so amazing that we can wear these prehistoric critters around our neck. I mean, these critters are like millions of years old. Okay, so I need 3 more beads, it looks like. Okay.
Bobby says, I've loved ammonites and trilobites ever since I was little.
Oh, yay, thank you. And how do you feel about crinoids? You know, crinoids are so cool too, one of these days. You know, it's really hard to find crinoid beads, but I do have a little stash of crinoids just in my little stash, and I really would like to make something with them one of these days. But I have to find them first. You know how it goes with stashes. So I am stringing through one side of my wire guardian again, and now we'll go through the other side of the wire guardian, and we will get pretty close to our beads, and just let gravity be your friend at this point. Just kind of drop everything, and
Katie says crinoids are cool too. I love fossils, period.
yes, yeah, I love them all. They're so cool. I'm so glad you guys enjoy them.
Kim C says loves ammonites and trilobites.
Yay! You know what? I did not expect to have so many fossil enthusiasts, but I tell you, you guys are making my evening.
And she says crinoids.
Yeah,
Bobby says, yes, I started with crinoids, found them at a closeout hobby store.
very cool. Yeah, crinoids are just so beautiful when you look them up. If you don't know what a crinoid is, look them up. They're like these amazing prehistoric animal flower. They look like a flower if you look at them from the side, but also the stems make a really cool bead. So they're just really interesting. So this is the second side, and when you knot that second side, you have to be a little careful not to make it too tight. So I know I am covering this with my fingers, so I will try to show you exactly where I'm placing the knot. So when I create that second knot, I make it a point to just kind of let gravity do its thing. And as you can see, my knot is not right next to the wire guardian, and I actually have a little bit of a space, and in a perfect world that is going to be just enough space for my 3mm knot cover. Okay, and let's close this a little bit, the wire guardian.
Catherine said, I have never seen them. I think that's in reference to crinoids.
Oh, crinoids? Yeah, look them up. They're just so very interesting. I think they're just so cool looking. Okay, so you can see I left roughly enough space for my cover, and of course, first we're going to glue. And again, I am putting the glue on the string, and maybe it was not quite enough, so I put it on the string, and then I hold the string up like this so that the glue runs down toward the knot. And yeah, we're good. So just a little dot of the glue is enough. All we care about is that the string does not fray. So this is going to take a second to dry, and we'll just let it be. And in the meantime, we have this other end, which is perfectly dry, and we can work with it. So why not start with this end? So when you put the clasp on, consider whether the person wearing it is a righty or a lefty. And what I generally do is I put the clasp, providing that it is a lobster claw or a hook clasp, I put it on the right. If I don't know who's going to wear it, there are more righties than lefties, so then you put the clasp on the right. If the person is a lefty, then of course you want to put on the left, because you want the person to have this on their dominant side. So that makes sense. And then what's pretty fun about this necklace too is that we're putting a little extender chain on it. And I'm a big fan of extender chains, because when you have an extender chain, oh, you know what? I didn't grab enough jump rings, but we have one. So when you have an extender chain, you can link into any one of the chain links and make the necklace longer or shorter, depending on your neckline. It's a really good feature. Also, if you don't know the size of somebody's neck, you're not sure how long they want it, it's just a really good feature to have. Okay, so because this is the left side of the necklace, I am just going to put the extender chain on it. And then, of course, the remaining side is going to be the lobster claw. All right, so you open the jump ring. We're going to connect that last chain link, and you always want to bring the two sides of the jump ring just a little closer before you snap it closed. And you hear that little scrape of metal on metal, which is a really good thing. So we have our extender chain connected, and by now our string should be dry. So we're going to cut off the excess string, and again, we want to cover the knot, because those knots are never pretty. I mean, they're not super offensive, but also because you glue the knot, it's going to be a little bit scratchy. So I always prefer to cover those. And here we go. We're going to put the knot cover on and just immediately start squeezing it. Just squeeze it so that it doesn't sneak right back out. And you press on one side at a time, and this way you can close it nicely, making it look like a nice little bead, little silver bead. Okay, and if I had another jump ring, should I just grab another jump ring really quickly? It is on my desk, so here, maybe Tony can show you. Yeah, so these are on my desk if you want to grab them for me. Cool. I got it. Okay, so in the meantime, ladies, I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview of what's going on next week. So next week we have a vintage garden a bracelet, vintage garden bracelet. And this is a project that addresses going from a 2-hole bead to a 1-hole bead. And I have another sample, in fact. So I have 2. We have kind of a midnight garden and a pretty daytime garden. So this is our project. Is this for Friday? I believe this is the Friday project, right? So this is next
Tomorrow.
Friday. Oh my gosh, I was thinking it was next week. No, you're absolutely right. I even got ready for it. Yay.
That's good.
That is good. That is good. But I do have next
On the
week's
Eclectica
project.
page,
Yes, thank you,
Vintage
Tony.
Garden and Midnight Bloom and Peaches and Fireworks.
You're awesome. I am so glad you remember all of this. That's great. Okay, so then I will wait with the other preview because I do want to, we're like one jump ring away from finishing this necklace, right? So let's just go for it. I think it's just very satisfying to put that last jump ring on this.
Heidi says, wow. And Catherine says, wow, those are beautiful.
Oh,
and Yolanda says, very cute bracelets.
Thank you so much, ladies, for your wows. And thank you. I'm glad you're excited. Okay, so I'm just going to close the jump ring. Okay, so it didn't make a really dramatic click or scrape, but I could feel the scrape of metal, so it's definitely not going anywhere. And now, of course, we can just go ahead and connect to any link in the chain. And we're done. So, the front is way prettier than the back. So here it is. And as you know, all 3 are made in the very same way. And I will show you all 3 side by side. And I do want you to know that with the round pendant, the one that we're calling Sunset, there are 2 sides. There are always 2 sides, and they're completely different. So here, for example, this one with the 2 white suns, look at how different the back is. So you really have to embrace a little bit of a surprise because you never know. This could be a familiar landscape or it could be like a different planet kind of landscape. And of course, the turquoise variation is going to be a lot more predictable.
Fonda says beautiful necklace, and Catherine says absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Nora says that was a great refresher project.
Oh, thank you so much, Nora. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, so now on with the preview that we started. So tomorrow, this is what I'm doing tomorrow. This is our vintage garden bracelet. And we have 2 variations here, and I have another surprise variation for you tomorrow. And for next week, I have Sedona Sky necklace, and this is very much Southwest inspired. So this is Sedona Sky. I think I like this side better.
Lori says, I love the turquoise necklace.
Oh, thank you so much. The turquoise Beachcomber or Sedona Sky? Probably Beachcomber.
I don't know. Suni says, really beautiful bracelets.
Thank you so much, Simi.
Heidi says, you're always so fun to watch. Thank you for the tips and tutorial.
My pleasure, Heidi, and thank you for that.
Heidi said, she adds, oh heavens, that stone.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I have to ask you guys, do you think it's too big? Is this like a ginormous stone, or is this like ginormous in a good way? I mean, it is ginormous, but I think
It's a statement.
it is definitely a statement piece.
Yolanda says, oh wow.
Yeah, it's pretty big, you guys.
Sabrina says, very pretty necklaces.
Thank you so much, Yolanda
Lori
and
says,
Sabrina.
actually love both turquoise.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. So one is definitely a little bit more casual, a little bit more diminutive. And this is my Valentine's. In fact, this is called Gemstone Valentine. And yes, Valentine's Day is coming up pretty soon. So this is our Friday project for next week.
In regards to the size, Yolanda says no, and Heidi says no, it rocks, LOL.
Yay, I like it.
Bobby says a weapon.
It is a bit of a weapon.
Isn't that like a bolo? Is that what
But
that's
it's
called?
a pretty weapon. Yes, it's both. It's multitasking.
Lori says I love the bracelet, and so does Catherine.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Suni says need to see the entire necklace to see if it's too big.
Well, funny you should ask. I am still waiting to see the entire necklace. I haven't finished it yet, but
Surprise.
yes.
Kathy says I'd like to see it on before if I decided it was too much.
Yes, so I will be able to do that next time because as you can see, I still have these naked little ends of leather. So by next week, I will be sure that I finalize how it's made.
Kim C says I love the stone and it's awesome. I would select a smaller one personally for myself, but love big or small.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yolanda says love that, and Connie says all are beautiful.
Yay, thank you.
Mary Elizabeth says I like the stone. It is okay to make a wow entrance.
Yes, this is definitely, I mean, it's a casual piece. It's definitely a casual piece, but it's a statement casual piece.
Sabrina says I like the light blue and purple together. And Suni says it's beautiful, Irina.
Oh, thank you so much. I like all colors together just about. So I believe, all good things must come to an end at this point. Yeah?
Lori says, can you show the bracelet in your hand? I love to make one.
I actually have like 3 different bracelets. Are we talking about the ones I'm wearing, or are we talking about this
I think
new
the
one?
ones you're wearing, maybe.
Probably the ones I'm wearing. So here, let me take off the bracelets that I have on. So this was actually a video at one point and a kit, but we sold out of it, and sadly we cannot restock it. Or did we sell out of it? Am I making it up?
We may have sold out of it, but we might be able to restock. We'll talk about it.
Oh, it's just Tony made a face at me, so I thought maybe
Like
I'm
always.
making something up. Yes, he's always making faces at me. He's a funny guy. So this was, in fact, you know what? Now that I look at all 3 of these were all videos and kits at one point or another.
Lori says, I'm happy I joined tonight. Miss you.
Oh, thank you so much, Lori. And I miss you too.
It's called Turquoise Canyon, and right now we're sold out.
Oh, okay. So I thought we were sold out. Are you saying we just sold out?
No. I think we sold out a while ago, and in October, we've been trying to get the beads.
Oh, well, that's what I said. Anyway, so I think we're saying the same thing. So sadly, we haven't been able to restock the beads for this bracelet. But as soon as we're able to, we will definitely make more because I know it's really popular. And we may still have the stretchy, and we don't have the Tyler bracelet, but we have a new version of the Tyler bracelet, the one with a centerpiece. So this is actually my first version of the Tyler bracelet, and I may actually remake this one as well because this one is sold out also.
Lori says, I love the bracelet with the little bracelet bar.
Oh, thank you. So I don't know, do we have this one yet?
I don't remember.
Well, if we don't, I guess maybe we'll check after the video, and if we don't, maybe we'll either restock or make a new version, but I think everybody loves this one too. Okay, so thank you for asking about my bracelet party on my wrist. It's like, you know, when you kind of crave color, when it's so yucky outside, it just, it makes me so happy to have all this color on my wrist.
Catherine says, thank you so much, beautiful lady. And Tony, I hope you all have a wonderful night, and I hope to see you tomorrow.
Oh, yay!
Sweet lady.
Yay! Thank you so much, Catherine.
Shay says, love the Tyler bracelets.
Thank you so much, Shay. And again, we have a different version of the Tyler bracelet at this point in the Etsy shop. We may even have a couple of different colorways. So, thank you so much, everybody, for watching. And thank you so much for all of your wonderful, sweet comments and suggestions.
Lori says, thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you so much, Lori. And thanks for watching. I hope to see you guys tomorrow morning. And again, we are, well, you know, I'm just playing with things at this point, but let me just remind you, this is what we're making tomorrow morning, and this is at 9 o'clock CST, and this is on the Eclectica Facebook page.
Patty T says, thank you for another great tutorial. See you tomorrow. Fonda says, have a good night. Heidi says, thank you and have a good night.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Suni says, good night.
Thank you so much, everyone, and thank you for your comments, and I will see you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, have a wonderful and creative evening.